What Melinda wants, Melinda gets.
I'm going to pretend to be Melinda.
Melinda wants whale poop.
What Melinda wants whale poop, so please teach me about this.
Okay. So, ambergris is maybe whale poop, maybe whale vomit, right? They don't know because we don't follow sperm whales into the deep. Okay. Basically, they eat stuff that they can't digest, and then like some kind of gooey, viscous bile thing, stuff, intestinal juices encapsulate it, like squid beaks and other, who knows, what other shells and things, right? And then they expel it at one end or the other. Maybe both. Who
I
knows?
feel like we should know this. Why is it still a mystery?
Sperm whales are very mysterious creatures. I mean, they dive like way down. I want to say something like 3,000 meters,
Why do you
maybe?
know this?
I don't know. 3,000 meters? Like way down, like deeper than we can go.
Why? But why do you know? Does it only
I
come
don't
from
know.
a sperm whale?
Only from a sperm whale.
No other whales make ambergris.
Apparently not. At least they've only ever found it in dead sperm whales.
Ew. Dead ones? We're getting it from dead ones?
No, no. Well, maybe, yes, actually. But I'm just saying that how we know it comes from sperm whales is that the occasional dead sperm whale, they cut it open and there's the ambergris. As opposed to like orcas don't ever have ambergris in their guts. Anyway.
Moving on now.
We're talking about perfume here, people. Okay, so this stuff is ejected from the whale. It's very animalic, as you can imagine. And then it floats around on the surface, soaking up all of the sea juices, getting hit by the sun. And then there's like, a couple of versions of it, black, gray, and white, basically depending on how long it sits in the sun and gets bleached. And that can change the intensity of the aroma, the quality. So white ambergris is going to be a little bit cleaner and just more salty marine.
Okay.
Versus on the other end of the spectrum, black ambergris is like fresh out of the whale.
Oh.
So
okay.
A little bit more ripe, animalic, fecal. Okay. So it's been used for hundreds of years at the very least in perfume because it's really strong. They do actually, the smell of it is actually nice when you come to learn about it, but perhaps most importantly because it's a really strong fixative and performance. It's a beast mode. I mean, it comes from a beast.
What does a fixative mean?
It just helps the perfume stick to the skin.
Okay.
And it helps the molecules stick to each other.
Okay.
Right? So
it's like glue.
It helps the top notes stick to the base notes.
Okay.
Basically, right?
Okay, that makes sense to me.
And has just been really prized in perfumery for a long time. Now, in most modern perfumery, we are using the synthetic versions, which the best known is called Ambroxan, which is just a trade name. Other trade names are Ambrox Super and Orchinox. And you can see this is just, right, like that, just a white crystalline powder.
Looks like
that
you're
does
almost
not,
out.
I am, that doesn't smell animalic at all.
No.
Clean,
that smells clean.
Clean, very clean. This is in all of your favorite freshies, okay?
Credaventus.
Yep.
That kind
Lots
of
of blue stuff,
yeah,
and lots of other things as well. Mostly because it helps project and last. Okay. It does provide some smell as well. And then you will also see synthetic ambergris, basically vegan ambergris accords. Come on, camera. There we go. Kind of. This is called absolute ambergris. Now, this one does have a little stink, although it's vegan. It's not bad. It's just a little bit animalic and funky. So this is a vegan accord. It probably has some ambroxan in it, along with other things to make it more funky, more mimicking what real ambergris would smell like.
Okay. Have you ever smelled real ambergris?
I have not. Well, yes, in perfume. I've never smelled a raw chunk of ambergris.
Okay.
So I use some of both of these in my Aventus inspired by, that I call Aventish, because it gives it a lot of projection, longevity, and a little bit more kind of a colorful tone than the regular Aventus. Rumor has it that the original Aventus formulas did actually have some real ambergris in it. So, let's talk about how it's used in perfume in a variety of ways today. So, first of all, the most pure use of it is something like this. If you see when I shake this, it doesn't bubble because there's no alcohol in it. This is Sherwood Ambrosia. This is a perfume.
Nope. nope, nope.
It doesn't smell bad.
No, I don't like those.
And
The square ones, they're
this,
no good.
the square ones, she's got square perfume trauma. This is a perfume made in an ambergris tincture. So all of that dark liquid.
Does it have the black one? The black
Probably,
ambergris?
yeah, probably black and gray. This is made, so this is what real ambergris smells like. This is real ambergris tincture.
Okay.
So on the high end, you're going to have the real smell of ambergris in Artisan brands. Now, a step down from that,
I like that one.
you like this one. This has the smell of real ambergris in it. It's just much milder.
It's just very gentle.
And
Kind of smells like Crayola crayons to me, that one.
well, I see that.
Yeah, isn't it nice?
And it's very, it's balanced with sweetness and florals and things like that. This is Francesca Bianchi, Sex and the Sea. And a good portion of that kind of sexy, musky, salty sea vibe that she's going for here is coming from ambergris.
Okay.
So, now, it was really popular in vintage perfumes because it was a little bit more affordable. Perfumers and perfume companies weren't as stingy and kind of profit margin driven. So they were just making the best perfumes they could. So this is a tester of vintage Guerlain Mitsuko. And then this is one of my favorite vintage masculines, Kritsia Moods. Smell this bad boy. Do you like that?
I do.
Yeah. I mean, clean,
It's
fresh.
not my favorite of your vintage fragrances, but it's good.
Fair enough.
It's good.
So, a lot of the power of vintage fragrances comes from the use of real animalics.
Okay.
Things like ambergris, civet, and castoreum.
Okay.
I chose these two because they do have ambergris in them. And it's a lot of what gives vintage fragrances that kind of power, that they're known for. Like you smell a vintage, you're like, wow, it's 50 years old, but my God, it's punchy.
Yeah.
And it also smells maybe a little bit
Weird.
weird and old and strange and funky and all of those
Musty.
things. A lot of that has to do with the ambergris that was in vintage perfumes.
Okay.
Okay. Older niche probably used real ambergris. We've got Creed Bois de Portugal and Amouage Jubilation 25. These both have ambergris notes. This one in a more spicy Middle Eastern profile.
I like that one.
And with these are modern niche, right? These don't smell skanky or skunky or animalic or stinky, especially Bois de Portugal.
Yeah, super nice one. I love that one.
Just pure class.
Yeah.
Classy gentleman fragrance. But even as recently as, 2016, I think this bottle is, I don't know when this bottle is actually. I forget. But, as recently as a handful of years ago, real ambergris was potentially still being used. Is it a little bit of real ambergris? Maybe with like an ambergris accord? Probably.
Okay.
But really trying to recreate the same thing that they were getting from the vintages and that the Artisan brands still do. And then you've got neo-vintage. So a couple examples here. Diaghilev from Raja and Sheeper Number 1 from Darren Allen. Sheeper Number 1 is vegan for sure, but you can tell that he's using animalic accords in there that are brilliantly done. So trying to mimic the effects of ambergris. So some combination of certainly ambroxan and maybe other ambergris bases with his own special recipes. Who knows? It is vegan. I do know that. But this captures the essence of those old vintages. And then Diaghilev. So beautiful. Civety, funky. I don't know if it has real ambergris or if it's a synthetic, but certainly you get the same kind of vibe from that.
Nice.
And then modern indie / niche, I've chosen 3 Perito Morenos here that all use, kind of like Darren Allen is using, a synthetic vegan ambergris accord in all of these. In particular, it stands out to me in King's Empire, similar to Francesca Bianchi's Sex and the Sea, with that salty, slightly aquatic vibe. So that's a little bit about ambergris, where it comes from, how it's used in perfume, and some examples of the different levels of usage in vintage and modern perfumery. So
Great.
there you